All right. Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. What's up, everybody? DStyleBoxing here. Check it out. Really quickly, we just want to go over a couple stuff here. So let's play with this a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. So, no, not the best art, but all right. Okay. So we're gonna play with this just a little bit, right? Let me get this tablet off of the keyboard. 1 second. There we go. All right. Okay, so, all right. Hope I'm live because I cannot see anything right now. So let me do this. Playing with this stuff a little bit. This is playing right now, right? Bear with me. You're join archive. Go a minute or two ahead, right? Bear with me here. By the way, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and thumbs up the video. Click on the notification button to get notifications whenever I come on live, right? If my cell phone could bring up the chat, I'm trying to bring that up right now. There we go. All right. I'm on live, right? And that the sound check went through. Perfect. Okay. All right, guys. I see there's already a thumbs up there. Thank you very much to the person that did that, right? I can't see what's going on here right now, but let's bring it up again. There we go. All right. So let's go over it. So first of all, right, as we take a look at, let's say this is the ring. Okay, let's say that this is the ring right here. So excuse me for, it looks more like a rectangle, but whatever. Okay, that's the ring, right? And we'll let's do this here. Okay, so we got 3 ropes. Okay, see, these aren't the best artists in the world, but I'm gonna give you a nice, pretty picture here. Okay, there we go. All right, and we'll let's you know, we got the blue corner. Okay, and we got the I don't know why that's so light, but anyway, and then we got the red corner, of course. All right, blue corner, red corner, blah blah blah, and then of course we got the 2 neutral corner. We'll do them, I guess, purple. I guess. Okay, neutral corner. Okay, whatever. All right, that didn't change colors. What the hell's going on? All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so this is the ring, guys. Okay, that's a boxing ring. Anyway, so if you have, hypothetically, okay, 2 boxers. Okay, so we got 1 boxer. I can actually draw pretty good if it's on a pencil and paper, but this is a little different. Okay, got 2 boxers there. Okay, that guy's a little too tall. Okay, well, what is it? What is he? Paul Williams? All right. Anyway, there we go. Okay, we got 2 boxers. Let's put some boxing gloves on the 2 boxers here. Okay, so some boxing glove right there. Boxing gloves right here. Okay, there you go. All right. So those are the 2 professional boxers right now. Right. So what's your point, DStyle? All right. Now let me explain what before we even talk about effective aggression, we need to talk aggression. And now it may be common sense to some people, like, well, duh, I know what aggression is, but let's go over aggression anyway. Let's just do it anyway. Okay, what is aggression? Right now, aggression, if you know, it's a hostile or violent behavior or attitudes towards another. Now, how do we apply it? How is that applied to boxing? Well, it's the action of attacking, right? So being overly assertive. So the idea is, in order to have effective aggression, you need aggression, right? You cannot have effective aggression without aggression. Aggression is necessary. What is aggression, right? Well, it's not exclusive to, more often than not, it means that a guy, okay, that a fighter, let's say this guy over here, okay, this is fighter A. I don't like that color there. Hold on. There we go. All right. There's fighter A and there's fighter B. All right. So with these two fighters here, yeah, fighter A, fighter B, even though I don't like that B. Holy shit. I swear to God, I need to get one of those like pens they could use and shit. The fingering working out here. But anyway, all right. Let me try B one more time. That's an embarrassing B. Okay, there we go. All right, look. So we got fighter A, fighter B. Okay, why I put A on the right side? Who fucking knows? All right. Let's say fighter A comes forward. All right, forward. Now forward could be towards that opponent. Okay, and then we do this because I think this is necessary for the sake of this video. Okay, let's make the guys a little smaller. Okay. So we'll make them a little smaller. Okay, and this is A, and this is B, right? Now, holy shit. Seriously, bruh. Okay. Forward, whether it's this way or whether it's this way or this way. Okay, a forward motion, right? A forward motion in the ring, all right? That's basically the idea behind aggression. The guy needs to come forward. Forward doesn't literally mean, okay, straightforward, because very rarely does that happen. Okay, a guy could press forward in all directions. Okay, a guy could press forward that direction, this direction, this direction, this direction, and they can also press forward that direction and this direction. All right, that's basically common sense, but there you go. All right, those are all the directions that an aggressor could come forward. All right. That is needed. Somebody needs to do that. Either both or at least one of the competitors needs to put aggression, needs to apply aggression, be assertive in the fight. It's absolutely necessary. Or we, ladies and gentlemen, do not have a fight. A fight does not exist. If no one is moving towards all those arrows you see, okay? If nobody is doing that, okay, and of course you also have this way and this way, okay, spare me. But anyway, if no one is doing that in the boxing ring, then there is no fight. A fight does not exist, okay? Does that mean the guy's winning? No, it doesn't. But that's something that we need to acknowledge, all right? A guy could lose every round and he could be the assertive one. I just want to make that clear. But we need to have the understanding that someone is needed to make the fight. Because if no one is doing what those arrows are showing us, if no one is doing that, then we got no fight. If no guy is being assertive, if they're moving away from each other, that's not a fight, is it? It's not a fight. If they're constantly, if this guy moves this way and this guy moves this way, all right, and they keep going, circling each other this way, then we don't have a fight, ladies and gentlemen. A fight doesn't happen. Okay? Either you got two guys circling away from each other, or you have two guys just staring at each other. And we don't have a fight. So aggression is absolutely necessary in a fight. All right? So when you hear terms like, well, he's the one, without him, there wouldn't be a fight, right? That's actually an accurate statement if they are, in fact, pointing at the guy who's being assertive and actually pushing the action, okay? Now, you could talk, while he wasn't assertive, X would have happened. Well, we don't know that. We could just go by what is happening, all right? So that's you want to explain aggression to you before we get to effective aggression, okay? Now, does shit have an eraser? Oh, look at that. Wow, look at that. DStyle's erasing. Nice. Wish I could erase his ugly ass ring, but it's all good, okay? Now look, all bullshit aside, okay? So when you have, right, I'm going to use a black line to illustrate to you the aggressor, okay? So as I mentioned, an aggressor could come this way, that way, this way, can circle this way or this way. All right, that's just And all this is, it's, you know, if you just draw the line, which would be easier, okay, you can have arrows coming this way, obviously, okay, and you can have arrows moving the opposite way, okay. That's the idea behind the guy being the aggressor. Now, right? Let's just say that there's a guy. Let's say that in this particular fight, okay, just for argument's sake, right? Let's say that the guy in this fight, the aggressor, is circling the ring mostly, okay? Maybe it's starts off this way, but then comes this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, and then it just becomes, you know, an ongoing process, because that's how he's chasing that guy, right? That's the way he's putting the aggression, right? Maybe as the fight continues, you can maybe get him against the ropes, you know, maybe against that rope, if he could, you know, whatever the case is, if he's constantly cutting off the ring, right, then can that be aggressive? Well, you tell me, right? But let's just say, for argument's sake, he started this way, comes this way, this way, this way, that way, right? Let's say that's the process in which he was putting aggression in the fight, just for argument's sake, okay? While the other guy, let's say, we'll use a, can't use an ugly color, so we'll use a color red, all right? Well, he was here, then here, then here, then here, then here. Those are the spots where he stopped, basically, okay? Those are the spots where he stopped. Now, let's say that only the spots where he stopped, meaning where he actually put his front foot down and actually threw punches, okay? Whether it was in this vicinity, this vicinity, this vicinity, this vicinity, and the start of this vicinity, okay? Let's say that that's where he stopped and threw punches, just for the sake of argument, right? The reality, okay, that this other, now it depends, when is the aggressor throwing punches, all right? When is he throwing punches? Now, if the aggressor isn't throwing anything, I find it hard to believe, if he's not presenting any type of resistance, all right? If he's not presenting any type of threat, right? If he's not throwing anything, if he's just marching forward, I find it very hard to believe that the guy in red there, right, would be making so many pit stops, okay? I find it hard to believe that he would have movement from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. I find it extremely difficult, right, to believe that if the aggressor wasn't doing anything effective, that this guy would be moving so fucking much, all right? That just, it doesn't quite make sense. You got to look at the pit stops. You got to look at, where's the guy who's not the aggressor, where is he stopping? And when is he shooting punches? And how often is he shooting punches? And what type of arsenal is coming his way? What's coming towards him? What's coming at him? See, that's the important thing to look at here, okay? Now, if I could get this shit working. I swear to God, I need to buy that one pen that they have with these things. But anyway. All right, back to that, all right? If a fighter is putting enough pressure on someone, this is my opinion, okay? What makes somebody an effective aggressor? If that individual is consistently preventing the other guy from making, you know, let's call them pit stops, to shoot his punches and then stick and move, right? The more he reduces that from happening, the more effective he is. So keep that in mind. Now, let me give you another example, okay? What if the aggressor finds himself moving like so? Let's say he started this way. Okay, let's get this shit back over here. Because they're starting to center the ring, right? They come actually from this direction. They don't come from the middle there. But anyway, my bad. Let's say the guy goes from here to here, and then, okay, his opponent immediately, almost immediately starts coming this way, all right? If the aggressor finally, like let's say comes this way, and then before he knows it, he's finding himself going like this, constantly coming after his opponent, right? Like a whole minute passes by, right? And the opponent has circled the ring 4 or 5 times, hasn't thrown anything. Let's say the aggressor is chasing him. Let's say he's throwing. Let's even say he's not landing anything. All right, let's say he's not landing nothing. Let's say that happened for a whole minute. Okay? Let's say it happened for a whole minute. Circling the ring, shooting, the other guy's moving out of the way. You see, you can tell me all day, well, the guy's aggression isn't effective because he's not landing anything, right? You could tell me that all day. You could say that. But then you have to explain to me, what is the other guy doing that's effective in any way, shape, or form? All he's doing is avoiding engagement. That's all he's doing, okay? There is a fine line to me in avoiding engagement, right? Avoiding engagement and, you know, and boxing on the move, to me, are two totally different things, all right? They're two totally different things. Avoiding engagement for a whole minute, even if the other guy is missing, but if he's putting in work, he's coming after you, he's asserting himself, he is pushing the action, then that guy, okay, you're going to have a very hard time convincing me that he lost the fight, okay? Like, or that minute. Okay, well, we're breaking it into blocks here. Now, does that mean that's it? The round's over? No, it doesn't mean that. Okay, but it does mean that that minute basically was given away by the guy that's being chased. The other 2 minutes, he really has to do something to really win that round. You know, could he? Of course he can. Right? If it goes on to land hellacious combinations and, you know, completely dominate the other 2 minutes, then it makes this 1 minute irrelevant. Okay, but nonetheless, is he doing that in the other 2 minutes, right? If he's giving away 2 minutes just doing this, well, you know, that 1 minute he's got of action, he better do something big, in my opinion, all right? He better do something that really stands out to me, okay, for me to even consider it. You know, you got to judge it. You got to actually watch the round and see what happened, but you can't ignore the spots where another guy is doing nothing. You just can't ignore that, all right? You just can't ignore it. Now, proper boxing to me, okay, is it possible for somebody not to be the aggressor? And even if the other guy's being effectively aggressive, it's possible for the boxer and the mover to win? Of course, okay? It happens a lot. So, for example, if, just for the sake of making this easier, I'm just going to be the aggressor here in the cutter scheme. Okay, the aggressor comes out, right? And there's some posturing in the center of the ring, some posturing here between both guys, right? You know, they kind of move, they move along in the center a lot. There's a lot of movement in the center of the ring by both guys, okay? And then, of course, the other guy starts sticking and moving a little bit. So then it gets out of there to this corner, then over here, and then the boxer brings it back to the center, and then they're back in the center again. The boxer moves back here, moves this way, back in the center again, okay? And then the process continues, right? To me, that's a boxer being effective, right? That's a boxer, you know, utilizing boxing, and he's not the aggressor, but he is bringing it back to the center, okay, where they're both standing in front of each other, maybe whether it's trading shots or slipping shots, and then steps outside, circles some, okay? And even if they circle once or twice around the ring, but brings it back to the center, to me, that's effective boxing. Is that the only way to do it? No. All right, so you can have, maybe the guy doesn't, okay, bring it to the center of the ring. I think bringing it to the center ring is vital, okay? I think it's important, right? But is it possible for a guy to come out of the corner, okay, and then immediately start chasing the guy, okay, and cut the boxer on the move? To me, if he's constantly moving, landing on his back foot, right? Let's say the guys, you know, these spots happen against the ropes, right? So these spots keep happening. If the guy who's not the aggressor against the ropes is landing, consistently doing it, by the way, all right, is landing shots, whether it's off the ropes or near the ropes, and then circling out of there. If he does that, that could be very tiring. That's a little more tiring than bringing it to the center of the ring. But if you could do that consistently, notice how I put four circles there, right? Now, what happens sometimes, this is just my opinion, okay? What happens sometimes is that the aggressor comes out and then just starts chasing the guy around the ring. It becomes a constant thing. The guy will make one pit stop, right? And then he keeps circling the ring, and then he makes another pit stop, and he stays there too long, all right? And then he keeps circling the ring, and he makes another pit stop right here, right? And he stays there too long. And when he totaled the amount of, when he was actually throwing, he's maybe doing it for 40 seconds of an entire round, right? So if a guy does not want to be the aggressor, okay, if a guy wants to do that, okay, you could call it let's call it the four circles, okay? Then that's fine. Let the aggressor come out, boom, fight him there, boom, fight him there, boom, fight him there, and continue, okay? That's one way to do it. Okay, that's one way. The other way is to get the fight, you know, just picture like a circle right here, which is the middle of the ring, okay? And you want to have the aggressor come out, meet him in the center, okay? And maybe circle around here. And then when you're ready, at any point, it could be over to this corner, it could be to this way, it can be that way, it can be this way, wherever it is, okay? You can step off, okay, to any one of those corners. Let's say it's this way, and if you want to circle this way and then come back to the center, right? And then you could come out at any point, come back to the center. As long as you're going back to the center, to me, that's the most effective way of doing it, right? It's okay to stick and move, and if you go to the center of the ring and you stay in the pocket long enough, and you could even circle in the pocket, to me, that's the most effective way of boxing. Someone who's being assertive and someone who's pressing the action, okay? To me, that's the most effective way of doing it. Okay, you could do it the way it kind of, you know, I'm simplifying it, but let's say there's a four corners way and then there's the imaginary circle in the middle of the ring, right? Whether you're putting it back in the circle of the ring or whether you're making constant stops to throw combinations, okay, or even if it's one shot at a time here and there. But if you're circling, but you're stopping and you're throwing and you're slipping and you're throwing and you're constantly doing that, whether you're bringing it to the center of the ring, all right, or whether you, okay, just because of the way the ring is structured, right, it has four corners in it, okay? So again, if you want to make the aggressor come out and there's one spot where you fight, there's another spot where you fight, another spot where you fight, another spot where you fight, and you move on from there, that's fine. You can do that, okay? To me, that's very tiring. That's very tiring, but you can do that. Or there's that circle here, okay? There's that circle here, and then, of course, where you could step out and come back to the circle. Step out, come back to the circle, okay? To me, that's the most effective way of doing it. But if a guy's not doing it consistently enough, then the other guy is being, like, if you're not able to constantly stop and box the other guy, okay, and even at times push back the aggressor, even at times maybe be a little bit aggressive yourself, even if you're in the entirety, you're not the aggressor, but it could be the aggressor at times, right? If you can circle the ring, if you could bring it back to the center where you're both circling in the center of the ring, right? Where you're turning him in the center of the ring, to me, that's when aggressiveness stops being effective, okay? Because you're constantly hitting the guy. He's coming forward, but you're peppering him, but you're punishing him, right? The guy, just him circling the ring, okay? Like if this is the whole fight, like if this is literally the whole fight, okay, where there's no center line like that, but it's actually over here, right? In fact, let's make that a little wider. Let's say the center line is like this, okay? And this is the fight is going the same fucking direction the whole fucking time. And here and there, Okay, there'll be like a spot where you stop here, a spot where you stop here, a minute passes by, then you stop here, and then maybe you stay there too long. Okay, you're against the ropes for a while. You see, that's to me, and you're landing some shots, but it's not often enough. Then it's hard for me to say, well, the guy's not being effectively aggressive. It's hard for me to say that, because if he wasn't that effectively aggressive, you would stop and fight a little more. Okay, you would have more spots where you fight. You would put the fight in the middle of the ring a lot more. You would circle and turn him in the middle of the ring a lot more. Okay? If you're not putting him in the center of the ring long enough, then he's being effectively aggressive. Period. Right? Effective aggression doesn't mean, well, yeah, he was pushing, but he was missing a lot. So that's not what it means. Not to me. Okay? That's not what it means at all. Because if he's doing that and you're stopping way too much and you're only throwing in spots and you only fight for about 40 seconds of a 3-minute round, right? The reality is you haven't punished your other opponent. The guy who's following you, he's stalking you, and you're not punishing him for it, right? You're not battering him for it. Those 2.5 minutes, over 2 minutes, he controlled it because you're not throwing at him. You're not hurting him. You can talk all day about how he's missing a lot. He's only landing some of the punches. Well, you're not throwing anything in those instances. So just because when you stopped in spots, like in this spot and this spot, right? Let's say those are 3 times you stopped in the whole fucking fight. That's where you threw punches, right? Even if you landed a high percentage there, even if you landed impressive shots, it's going to be hard to give you that round. It's going to be very difficult to give you that round, all right? To me, it's difficult because you allowed the other guy to control over 2 minutes of the fight. Now, but he didn't control it. He was missing a lot. Yeah, what was the other guy doing? Just circling the ring on the outside, constantly moving in circles and avoiding engagement is not making the other guy be ineffective. That's not what you're doing. You're avoiding engagement. There's a difference. Avoiding engagement, sure, even if you're slipping some shots and rolling away from shots and blocking shots, but you're constantly retreating, right, without making the other guy pay consistently. You know? Now, is it possible to have enough? Like, let's say you add 2 more of these throughout the fight, right? Then it becomes a little tougher to score. I agree, right? But that's not exactly what I've seen in some fights where guys say, oh, he's not being effectively aggressive, right? Oh, he's missing. Oh, nothing landed there. But what's happening? One guy's pressing the action, and the other guy is retreating, right? The other guy is retreating. So a lot of people don't see, like, a lot of people call Floyd Mayweather a runner, okay? But Mayweather uses the center line, okay? Floyd Mayweather puts it here, right here in the center, right? Yes, he'll retreat this way. He'll even get against the rope sometimes, but he gets away and he gets back in the center. And at times, he even becomes the aggressor. At times, he even presses the action. And he's the one doing this, okay? He's the one pushing the guy against the ropes, and the other guy's circling away from him. Got to be able to mix that up, right? But finding that center line, to me, it's not the only way. I explained the other way of doing it. If you're constantly moving, if you're boxing on the move, you can make quick pick stop, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there, right? Just this constant stop. Boom, 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 throw your shots and get out of there. Boom, boom, throw your shots, get out of there. You could do that, whether it's against the ropes or near the ropes, in constant movement. The only problem with that, you're going to get fucking tired if you do that, right? And the other guy's constantly coming forward. You're throwing shots off your back foot at times. It could become tiring, but if you could do it for 12 rounds, knock yourself out. But to me, bringing it to that center and circling in the center, because you know what happens when you get right here, right? Notice that when a guy, notice this, okay? Notice that when a guy follows you this way, he is literally stalking you. He's coming at you when he follows you that way, right? If a guy, if you have it in the center of the ring, from here, he's not really facing you. You are turning him. You are turning the guy. He's no longer being aggressive. You're turning him in the middle of the ring, right? So that's why it's important to bring it to the center of the ring where it becomes basically neutral, where both guys, where you got to circle. Because if the guy doesn't circle with you here, you're going to end up right behind him, right? And it could be spell trouble for him, right? So you have to be able to find that center line and to make the effective aggressive. Now, just doing that alone doesn't mean anything. But if you can do that, land shots right here, and then move back out, okay? Land shots while you're on the move, all right? Or just circle and bring it back to the center, box him in the middle, circle out, come back in, circle and turn him in the middle, box, get out, move, bring it to the center, turn him, right? Get out, move, bring it to the center, turn him. See, if you keep doing that, then yes, he's being the aggressor, but he's not being effective in his aggression, okay? Because he's not succeeding in anything. He's not stopping you from throwing punches. You're not going a whole minute without throwing anything, okay? You are in command by bringing it to the center of the ring and turning him, right? That to me, that's the most effective way of neutralizing aggression, right? And when you're constantly beating his ass, when you're constantly landing gloves on him, it's what's making it the aggression ineffective isn't the fact that he's not landing. It's the fact that you're landing, okay? And that's what I believe a lot of people confuse. Okay, that's why I think a lot of people find themselves kind of like, well, I don't think he's not effective because he's not landing anything, or he's not landing a lot when he does pressure. Well, again, if one guy isn't pressuring, if one guy is, there's a fine line between being defensive and avoiding engagement. There's a fine line right there, okay? And there's just a difference to me. What's up, Mr. Doc? In the 70s, European commentary and judges viewed the aggressor as a fighter throwing the quote-unquote lead punches and getting off first. Well, it is, see, aggression is, you know, I guess happens, it can happen in spots. So if you get off first, in a way, you are being the aggressor, right? I mean, okay, you're being assertive at that point. But, you know, so for example, right? Let's say one guy is, you know, comes out and he starts coming after you. But in certain spots, or when you decide to, you put a stop right here and you push him back. And you push him back this way. And then you go back to circling to the middle of the ring. Okay? Then, yeah, in that spot, you were the aggressor. Right? I mean, it is what it is. But, all right. Red Fox said, what's up to Mr. Doc? But no, what's up to DStyle? I don't know what that's about. What's going on with that? I'm kidding. What's up? People saying what's up to each other, pounding around in the chat. But weren't there times guys got cautioned and refused to engage? And Doc said, yeah, I've viewed the criteria as a sort of interlocking loop, so to speak. Clean, effective punches are the easiest way to make sure one's aggression is effective. Good defense delimits clean punches, and ring generalship to me as well as dictating the range and ring geometry. All right. That sounds about right. It all comes back to punches, says Red Fox. Well, of course it does. So, like, here's my thing, right? Red Fox says that in his opinion, effective aggression, ring generalship, and have the better defense. That should lead to you landing more clean, effective blows. I think the effective aggressor can't be on the go going backwards, leading while landing counters. Can. You think he can? Well, I guess. Okay, but if the guy's only doing that, right? If he's only landing counters for 3 or 4 spots of the entire round, then at that point, you know, it's hard to distinguish, in my opinion. But hey. Somebody asked, what do you think about even rounds? I know that was a question to me, but I don't score even rounds. I have a philosophy behind that. Like if a round is that close, then pick who you think won, right? Like give it to a guy. If it's that close, other people will maybe give it to the other guy, and then it'll sort itself out. Like who won it? Well, that's going to come down to there's 3 judges, right? So if it's that close, at least 2 should give it to one of the guys. But Red Fox is okay with them. All right. An even round makes an actual draw less likely, says Mr. Doc. It does, because 12 rounds is even. Well, you can get off first, back foot, front foot. I get that, but I mean, I don't know if I would call that being the aggressor, you know. But hey, if it was up to me, and I'm just being honest, okay. If it was up to me, all right, I would just, I mean, it's hard to just say, okay, whoever lands the most punches wins, you know, because let me give you an example of a round, okay? Let's say, for argument's sake, okay, let's say that the hell's that? The hell? Okay, so let's say for argument's sakes, right, that for whatever reason, right, let's say there's a fight, okay? It's going to come up with a random fight. And in this fight, let's break the fight down in 30 seconds, okay? Okay? So, all right. The first 30. You know what? I'll just do this. Let me. The first 30 seconds of the fight, right? One guy does nothing. He just circles the ring, circles away. The other guy's being the aggressor. The other guy's throwing, right? The other guy's throwing, and he's landing some shots. You know, let's say, but he's the only one throwing for the first 30 seconds. Let's say he landed. Okay, so there's fighter A, and then there's fighter B. Okay. Fighter A in the first minute landed 2 punches, but in the first 30 seconds, right? Let's do it this way. The next 30 seconds, same story, right? I mean, fighter A is missing a lot, but he's the aggressor. He landed some grazing shots. He's landing, you know, but he's missing a lot. But the other guy's not throwing anything. But fighter A landed 1 punch. Let's just say, right? That's it. That's 1 minute in the fight. Another 30 seconds. That's halfway through the round. Finally, B stops. He throws a combination. He throws a 5-punch combination. That's 3 of the punches and starts circling the ring. Fighter A got maybe 1 shot in, you know, pressing forward the whole time, right? All right, so let's stop right there. That's this fight, in my opinion, is still for, you know, it's still for the taking, right? But who won that? Who won the first half of that round? Who won the first half, right? One guy stopped. He threw 5 punches. He landed 3 of the 5. It looked spectacular, and then he circled out of there, right? The other guy's missing a lot, but throughout all that, he managed to, you know, land 1 more punch than fighter B, right? Let's just say that's the example of this round, okay? Let's just say. And then another 30 seconds passes by. So that's the 2-minute mark. A is still pressuring. A is pressuring. He didn't land anything clean. He's missing a lot, but B didn't throw anything. Well, 2 minutes in, who do you have winning that round? Another 30 seconds passes by. A is pressuring, missing a lot. He landed maybe 1 shot. B stops, throws another 5-punch combination. He lands 3 punches. Okay? So he landed 1, 1, 2, 3. right? So B has so far has outstruck A, right? In the last 30 seconds of the round, A is pressuring, missing a lot. He maybe landed one punch, okay, in the entire round, and B did nothing, okay? They landed the same amount of punches, guys. They landed the same amount of punches, okay? B landed at, let's say, an abysmal 8% rate, okay? But B is landing at like 50 plus percent, okay? If you want to go up by percentages. I know there's no visual or anything like that, but let's say that's how the round went down. Who do you give that round to? Do you score it even because it landed the same amount of punches? Like who do we give it to? Do you give it to B because his percentage is higher? Do you give it to A because he had a larger workload? Okay, he was asserting the fight. He was pressing the action. Do you not care? Do you say, well, he was pressing the action, but he missed a lot, so what? Do you give B defense because he made the other guy miss a lot, but he got hit just as many times as the other guy? You know, so like, how do you score that? Well, so somebody's saying 5 tag jab versus 2 power straight hands. Who wins the exchange? Well, it depends. I mean, was the jab stiff or the, you know, it's hard to say, but I guess the 2 power shots would win, you know, but we can't discount the 5 jabs. You know, we can't just say, well, those jabs don't count. So I don't know, right? But in this hypothetical, who wins this fight? Who wins this round? These are all power shots. Let's just say these are all power shots, by the way. Who wins that round? Now, I agree that, well, I don't know. I got to see how hard are the shots. I get, let's say that we're all equally as hard. Let's just say that. Who wins the round? Who'd you got? You know, like who got in this round? Well, I would have to watch it, and it's possible that B could win the round. I honestly believe most people, okay, myself included, would give it to A, right? Unless the shots B landed were like unbelievable power shots where A was so visibly distraught and hurt, okay? At that point, it favors B. But, you know, we have to take some, we just got to understand it a little more. You know what I mean? Erase all this shit. I swear to God, I need to get the pen for this shit because with a finger, like my finger gets like, it's like weird. Red Fox, so do you score that even? 10-10? Red Fox scores at 9-9. He doesn't give 10. They both lose the round. He gives 10 to the ring girl, red card girl. Power matters, but unless one guy's a serious born puncher, it's not always easy, like you say, to judge how hurtful one guy's punches are versus the others. All right, so let's do another hypothetical. So fighter A. This fighter A. Come on now. Fighter A. Fighter B. Okay? Hypothetical. Fighter A landed, let's say, 30 jabs. 30 jabs, 5 power punches, right? And then you do, let's say, 10 jabs, by B and 12 power punches. Both guys landed hellacious shots with their power shots, okay? And the jabs were pretty solid by both guys. Who wins that round? More than likely. I know you can't say, well, I don't know, I would have to watch it. I get it. But who wins that round more than likely, in your opinion? Like, the fact that the B outlanded him in power shots, does it make up for 30 jabs landed? Like, does it? I mean, he landed 10 of his own, but that 20 plus the 20 jabs differential, does it make a difference? I don't know. Does it make a difference? Who fucking knows, right? Gotta watch it. Gotta watch the fight. Anyway, I might be scoring a fight tonight. I don't know which fight yet, but I'm thinking about it, of course. Where the hell is my freaking thing? Hold on. All right, there we go. There we go. It's this shit, this Surface thing, man. It's fucking weird on it's weird as hell. Sometimes. Fighter A. Yeah, you gotta see it, of course. There's no absolutes, you know. That's why who landed more punches, I have a hard time just making that the end all be all. Well, you landed more, you won. There, period. I have a hard time just being absolute with that. I'm like, to be honest with you, honestly, like just watching the round and saying, yeah, I think that guy won is probably easier to do than, oh, look at all the criterias and factor this, factor that, you know, like it's more often than not every round, but more often than not, like we know who won the round just by watching, you know, like you just know. Not every round, but at least half of the rounds of every fight, you kind of know who won that round. Yeah, you got to look at quantity versus quality. I agree. You know, I agree with that. Someone once gave me this analogy. I don't agree with it, but it's dangerous to think of it that way. But it's kind of like putting money in a basket. A jab is like a dollar bill in a basket. A power shot, you can judge it. You know, oh, no, hold on. Let me backtrack. What did he say? He said something like a jab could range from a $1 bill to a $10 bill, right? Like if it's a nice stiff jab that hurt the guy or just a throwaway jab, you know, anywhere from a $1 bill to $10 bill in the basket. A power punch, right? A clean power punch should be anything from a $20 bill to $100 bill. You know, and I was like, well, I don't know if I want to be judging boxing fights that way, you know? I don't know about that. You know, because a lot of quote unquote power punches aren't really power punches. So, you know. Well, how about this? You know, because very few people, for whatever reason, I don't agree with this, but one guy will win the round, but he gets knocked down. And me, if I feel the other guy outboxed him, even if he got knocked down, I scored 10-10. That's the only time I do an even round. Okay? That's the only time. I guess you could do a 9-9, but whatever. Okay? But I do 10-10. That's the only time I score an even round. If the other guy got knocked down, but he clearly won the round, that's the only time I do it. Okay. If but that's it. But a lot of people, they just have a rule. If you get knocked down, then that knockdown just superseded everything you did, so it's a 10-8. A lot of people have that. I think it's more than likely it's 10-8, but it's not impossible for it to be an even round. Like, it's just not impossible to me. Because what if you dominate the whole round and you get knocked down? I mean, that's the only punch the other guy threw. Does it depend? Like, did the knockdown hurt him? Was it a flash knockdown? You gotta watch it. You gotta interpret that. Yeah, I don't sit there and say, all right, I got to give him that. I got to give points for this. Because every round's different. So I agree, Doc. You know, in some rounds, some of the criteria doesn't matter, right? Like, you think, like, if I ever score Morales versus Barrera 1, right? In some of those rounds, I'm sorry, defense is out of the window. Okay, like, it's, both guys were not used. They were trading. Like, defense is out the fucking window. It's out the window. So it just depends. Red Fox, so I scored 10-8 minus a knockdown. It's rare that I do a 10-8. I hate doing 10-8. I really do. It has to be and let me tell you why. Because once you score a 10-8, it could become a very dangerous precedent. It really can. All right. Dominating a round is not a 10-8 in my opinion. Okay. It's got to be above domination. Like, you got to have a guy so hurt, and the other guy do nothing and just put a complete beating on him to where you almost stopped him in that round, for me to consider a 10-8. Like, it's got to be, the other guy has to be hurt. He has to be almost out. Like, you got to be like, man, you could have stopped that. For the ref could have stopped it right there. Like, to me, and you dominate the whole round on top of that for it to be a 10-8. That's me. Hey, you're right, Doc. 10-9. Yeah. It'll be a 10-9 actually, but because he got knocked down. But my thing is, because it's a 10-8 because it's -1 because you lost a round and -1 because you got knocked down. But if you got knocked down but you won the round, shouldn't the round be even? Just saying, but. Yeah, I don't do 10-8s. When Teddy Atlas scored, what round was it? 9? Was it 9 or 10 with Jeff Horn? I mean, Pacquiao dominated the round. He clearly won the round. But when Teddy Atlas scored it at 10-8, nobody was calling it a 10-8 till Teddy Atlas said 10-8. No, nobody. And what's weird is, so according to Teddy Atlas, if Pacquiao would have knocked down Jeff Horn, it would have been a 10-7 round, according to Teddy Atlas. I think a 10-8 should be. I just feel strongly that it should be earned with a knockdown. Like, if you got him that hurt, then you should have knocked him down. That's the way I see it. So. All right, guys. That's all I really got to say about that. Nothing I really want to add there. I think I pretty much covered all that. Speaking of 10-9 with knockdown, that's what I scored Corte De La Hoya, round 5, I believe it was, when they both knocked each other down, but Corte clearly won the round, in my opinion. I had Corte winning that round by 1 point. Because it broke even with the knockdowns, and Corte won the round. So. So I had a 10-9 for Corte in that round. I guess you could say 10-8. Well, whatever. Anyway, that's all I really got, guys. I got to run some errands. I got some shit to do, so. 10-8 is possible, but if it's not rare, if you're not doing it, if you're doing it in every fight, there's a problem. Like if you're doing 4-5 even rounds every fight you score, to me, there's a problem. You know. No, I don't think De La Hoya beat Ike. It was a close fight, though. It was a good fight, too. All right, guys, I'm out.